Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So, it is patch day today, and Bethesda have been hard at work squashing bugs in the latest iteration of Fallout 76. So, let's jump in and take a look at what they've been working on. Okay then, so not a massive update today, just a little one focusing on bug fixes, and this is not as long as I would have expected, but at the same time, they seem to have squashed certainly the biggest issues of the moment in the game, so definitely pleased about this. Would have liked to have seen it a little longer, but I'm certainly not unhappy with the things they've managed to get here, so let's take a look. Okay, so usual artwork for patch notes. We have the May 25th, 2021 update. So, today's update includes fixes for a number of bugs, many of which were reported by players in the community. Not surprising. So, only a small one here. 2.5 gig on Bethesda Net, 7 on Microsoft Store, 3.2 on Steam, 6.3 on PlayStation, and considerably larger at 9.4 on the Xbox. So, there we go. Know what you need to download before we dive back into it. So, we'll get straight into this. It's just bug fixes today. So, art and graphics. We have a couple of apparel changes. The Brotherhood of Steel Infantry uniform no longer clips through the Super Mutant outfit. That'll be Under Armour showing through the outfit. There are a couple of these actually today where Under Armour has been fixed. Speaking of, Under Armour's no longer clip through the West Virginia Drifter outfit. The West Virginia Drifter outfit being one from the Atomic Shop that looks a lot like the Blue Ridge Caravan outfit, which is also similar to the old Railroad armoured coat from Fallout 4. Same sort of style. So, no clipping issues there anymore, which is always good. Headwear. The Pip-Boy light now shines in the correct direction whilst wearing the Brotherhood Tactical Ops mask. I can't think which one that is. I'm not sure if this is a switch to having the Pip-Boy being your light or if it's a case of it being a headlamp, but either way, it should not behave weirdly anymore, which is good. Street lamps now play correct visual effects when destroyed. Cool. Didn't even know you could destroy street lamps, so we live and learn, I guess. And the light from street lamps should now correctly shine in all directions, which is cool. Power armor. The Raider Marauder power armor has been adjusted so that it no longer obstructs parts of the player's view in first person. I've got a feeling this was particularly relevant for those using heavy weapons, but I'm not entirely sure. Either way, if you are a fan of that Raider Marauder power armor, if I remember rightly, that's really rustic, broken up looking, rusted metal looking power armor, which is quite cool. I think it's that one anyway. Either way, should look much better if you are playing in first person now. Speaking of power armor, the Yukon 5 logo now displays correctly on the Commissioner Chaos power armor torso after leaving the modified menu. So I believe that is the rank 100 reward from the current season. Apparently if you modified it, it would make one of the logos go a bit wonky. Now it shouldn't do that. And arm and hip plates now animate correctly when entering the Warhead power armor. For those of you who are Fallout First members, might have that particular green suit of power armor. So, the Brotherhood Infantry statue, looking at a couple of camp objects now. It will now play the correct visual effects when destroyed. The spaces on the framed cold steel game board are now blank instead of displaying placeholder icons. So, presumably it was showing icons from that were intended for another part of the game in the item that you can put on the wall in your camp when you get to rank 100. Now those are blank as per all the other ones, which is cool. And the handmade rifle paint, the gold one, no longer appears stretched when applied to an attached suppressor mod. So, yeah, that should actually fit. You've got a suppressor on that. So that's cool. So, on to Camden Workshops. Got a couple of exploits being sorted here. A blueprint exploit related to camp slots. And an item duplication exploit. Always happy to see those go. Floor decor, so the crafting requirements for area rugs, which I believe are the new addition to the Atomic Shop recently. They're little rectangular ones that are various colours, if I remember rightly. Now have the right crafting requirements. They were previously lower than intended, so it will now cost you 3 cloth and 2 rubber. So not astronomically high, not a big change, but a little thing nonetheless. Generators. This one's for Fallout First players again. The downed plane generator can now be built by players who own it after learning the large generator plan or the windmill generator plan instead of just the windmill one. So, gives you a few more options to get access to that, which is cool. And the repair all structures option no longer appears grayed out if your beehive has been destroyed, which is particularly relevant at the moment as it's a current season reward, so a lot of players are placing those at the moment. Very, very good to see that issue fixed. So, combat. Successful VATS attacks now correctly deal damage to other players during PvP. I had it in my head that you couldn't even use VATS during PvP, but that may just be me crossing it over from nuclear winter. But there we go, for those who do use VATS and occasionally wind up in PvP, your attacks will now register correctly, which is good. So, fix an issue that could cause objective markers for other quests to appear while you're running a daily op. Always good, save some confusion there. And enemy spawning, so this has been the big one since the last update. This is the one I've really wanted to see fixed, particularly in light of obviously there being a daily requirement to level up. So certain locations are better for grinding than others to get that XP nice and quickly. And when they were not spawning correctly, or not respawning correctly, that was causing some issues. That issue should now be gone, as they have fixed it. So I think it's taken a couple of attempts to get that sorted, but good to see that's now fixed. I know it's an issue that's flared up in the past before, so I'm guessing it's tied into a number of interesting things, as it does pop up from time to time, that issue, but good to have it fixed. So, items, armor. Paints can now correctly be applied to pieces of scout armor. No idea what was going wrong there, but if you want different colored scout armor to the traditional one, there are in particular some season rewards that have scout armor variants, so if you want to apply those to your scout armor, you now can. So, a couple of fixes to quests and events, specifically quests. Cheating Death, which is one of the Raider quests if you are working your way through Wastelanders. So the quest will now correctly progress past the first stage for players who pick up Lou's note early. So those are presumably the note that is in his little room, his accommodation inside the crater. If you happen to have picked that note up a little earlier than the game had intended you to, the quest will now still progress correctly. So nice little fix for those who are running through that one. Disarming Discovery, a random one. Players will no longer lose 300 caps when logging in at a certain stage of the quest. 300 caps is not that big a deal, but that's a really weird bug. Still, no longer an issue, which is cool. Over and Out, the elevator door at the entrance to the Enclave Research Facility, which is presumably therefore a Steel Dawn quest, will now open correctly. Presumably that was preventing people from advancing that particular quest. Now you can actually wrap up that particular storyline, which is cool. So a couple of sound fixes. Refrigerators, a sound effect no longer plays twice when opening a refrigerator. And I'm really hoping this is more extensive than it seems. Heavy weapons that have attached tri-barrel mod, so that specifically would therefore mean miniguns, no longer play unintended sound effects after the player has stopped firing. So no mention in here of that really annoying noise that sometimes comes from heavy weapons other than just the minigun. Gatling plasmas are one that I've noticed being a particularly prolific culprit, but it makes that really, really annoying loud noise. I'm really hoping this will include a fix to that, but it doesn't say, so either the lack of clarity or the lack of fix, whichever it ends up being, is definitely a little disappointing, but something I suppose is slightly better than nothing. So, a couple of UI fixes to round things out with. Fix an issue that could cause controls to become unresponsive after attempting to enter a set of power armor that has naturally spawned in the world. Not helpful if you are trying to pick up power armor as you're exploring, particularly those newer characters. Emotes. When equipped, the laughing emote now appears in the miscellaneous section of the emote wheel instead of the trade section. So, little thing, but that does make considerably more sense, make it easy to find if nothing else. The map. This is one that really has been bugging me since the last update. I'm very happy to see it fixed. It was also an issue on the PTS, so I'm surprised I didn't get it done sooner. But hey, it's fixed now. It's the main thing. The map now retains the player's most recent zoom level when reopened. It was previously zooming all the way in every time you reopened it. You had to zoom back out if you prefer to do that. That bugs the crap out of me. I much prefer it to be zoomed out. So, very, very happy about that one. It's a little thing, but it was a bit of a niggle with me, that one. So, happy about that. Maps. The select respawn location now correctly appears at the top of the map when attempting to respawn. Okay. And fix an issue that prevented the protected zone from being marked on the map while using a targeting computer attempting to launch a nuke. So there's an area around Vault 76 that is unnukable, I suppose you could say, and the area was prior to this update having some issues with showing that area being marked on the targeting computer. So fixed now, which is good. The rank 100 reward in the Season 4 scoreboard no longer has any empty preview images. Address an issue that could prevent a player from scrolling through the friends list on the social menu. Always good. That thing's always been a bit of a pain in the butt, but one less issue is always welcome there. Tag for search. The magnifying glass icon is no longer obstructed by item names when a component with those items has been tagged for search. Little vague. I'm guessing if you've seen this issue, you'll know what it means. More clearly than I do, at least, anyway. But little tidy up of the UI there. And last but not least, vending machines. Apparel now has its own category separate from armor when previewing another player's vending machines on the map. So it's just the little tooltip that pops up on the map now shows your apparel separately from armor, which is cool. Just gives you a little bit more clarification as to what you can expect to find when you get to another player's camp. So, there we go. A couple of nice little fixes today. Nothing massive. It's a short list. As I say, I would like to see a few more fixes in there. Wouldn't we always? There we go. On the other hand, the big things for me, the things that were bugging me the most, are on this list, with the exception, as I say, of that heavy weapon noise thing. The sound thing listed here, with a tri-barrel mod on miniguns, may also cover the rest of that. But it doesn't say it does, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say with things like Gatling plasmas, which, as I say, were the most obvious culprit to me, that's probably not been fixed. We'll have to wait and see, but it's a little disappointing if that's the case. Hopefully we'll be pleasantly surprised. It's not unusual, really, for things to end up getting left off the list. You find something's been fixed that they haven't included here, so I'm not going to give up hope until I have it confirmed, but not perfect. Still, a few good fixes, a couple of nice little bits and pieces. Nothing massive, but there we go. I would imagine at the end of June we'll see another update with a whole load list more bug fixes as well. We'll have to wait and see what Bethesda have to say on that, but that's theoretically the plan. I know up to this point in the year that's not really the way that's gone, but we'll see whether or not they're back on track, I guess. I'm guessing part of the reason this list is a little shorter than perhaps we might like is because they are focusing very, very heavily on the Steel Rain update, which is going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, of the year. And there is absolutely tons of cool stuff coming with that one, so very, very much looking forward to that. Speaking of, going to be rediving into that in hopefully in the next few days. We'll see what happens. Definitely got some content in there that I want to cover and sort of highlight some of the stuff in it, so do watch out for those. I imagine we'll have an Inside the Vault post on Thursday as well, presumably with a new bit of news, but obviously I'll have to fit that one in somehow. We'll see how it goes, but keep an eye out for that one as well, as per usual. Notification bell if you want to know when I upload. It will keep you informed, as best as it does when we're talking about YouTube anyway. And if you get the chance, do have a look at some of the live streams as well. We're jumping back into Mass Effect 2 with the Legendary Edition today, and it should get a little bit more exciting today, which would be cool. Going to go and hunt down Morden Solus and see where we go from there. So, definitely some cool stuff. I think we'll be picking up a very favourite character, another favourite character as well tonight. So, I do hope you'll be joining us for that one. And of course, Wednesday and Friday, the Fallout streams will continue too. So, for now, do hope you found this useful and informative. If you did, please do consider dropping subs and likes for me. It's hugely appreciated. Any shares are very, very much appreciated as well. Social media links, the merch store, and channel memberships are all available down below the video as well. If you're interested in supporting the channel in that way, it massively, massively helps out. So, humongous thanks to everybody who's done that already. Really, really appreciate it. But for now, massive thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.